One of the things we talk about all the time in cryptocurrency is don't let people fool you. Don't let people take advantage of you. And we see it all the time when it comes to FUD, real FUD. Now, that word's been tossed around so many times, right, to just be a catch all phrase or catch all buzzword, if you will, in crypto. But there is such a thing as fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and starting fear, uncertainty, and doubt on purpose. And it feels as if that's what's been happening so much recently, talking about the fear of crypto regulation and the fear of all stable coins and the fear of all centralized exchanges. We're trying to understand this as much as we can, right? We're just normal people trying to better our lives in cryptocurrency, but we have to deal with this and we have to try to unpack this. And I came across this interesting article today, and I want to share it with you. And before I do, I want to give you my stance on cryptocurrency. I still think we have a massive opportunity here. That has not changed. But I think it's harder than ever to kind of parse out the real information out there and how it informs us as investors. So, one of the things we're waiting to see is what the SEC wants to do, and really what all of the governing bodies in the United States are going to do when they come together and figure out a plan for the future of cryptocurrency. Now, recently, we saw China getting back into crypto. Hong Kong getting back into crypto. There are some people out there that says, hey, that's because they see a competitive advantage now to latch on to crypto with all of this ambiguity happening in the United States. Now, let me take you inside this article because this is an interesting title and really, really in-depth article over on Cointelegraph. Found it on my aggregator, but I want to highlight some key areas. Gary Gensler's SEC is playing a game, but not the one you think. Now, this is an opinion piece from over there. On February 13th, though, a federal judge put the SEC and the CFTC cases against former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried on hold. Now, that was about 9 days ago from currently recording this video. Keep that in mind. You'll be forgiven if you missed this story. Headlines and social media were dominated by the breaking news that the SEC was suing crypto firm Paxos for minting Binance's stablecoin Binance USD. Now, of course, CZ from Binance has since come on. Got to fight the FUD, get past it. By the way, BNB, the actual native currency, has come back pretty nicely since then, but we'll see how that plays out. Back to the article. The issue is that Paxos' story broke on the same day as the United States District Judge Kevin Castell delayed Bankman-Fried's case, and the ensuing stablecoin debate detracted from the very significant change, distracting many from what should have been a bigger story. So, the use of distractions or strategically putting out information at times when people may see it or putting out another story on top of another one to hide, the lead a little bit happens all the time in the news cycle, happens all the time. We've got to be smarter, though, and we all have an individual brain. We all can actually do this and unpack it ourselves. All it takes is a little bit of digging, like I'm doing right now here for you, finding this article and unpacking it and thinking about it. Wait, this actually did play out this way. This is kind of fascinating, right? So they call it a delay tactic, right? A tried and tested legal technique. You might claim that the timing of these two stories, the Paxos BUSD lawsuit and the staying of Bankman-Fried's cases, is a simple coincidence. And even prosecutors argued that delaying these lawsuits makes sense due to the considerable amount of overlap between them. And while that may be true, it feels very convenient for both Bankman-Fried and SEC Chair Gary Gensler, though. Now, Gensler, it says here in this opinion piece from Cointelegraph, is a master magician, and he's using misdirection to distract us. This is the author's opinion here. Unfortunately, the real story here is far more insidious. On February 9th, it was announced that Kraken would not only have to shut down its crypto staking service in the United States, but also pay a fine of $30 million in its settlement with the SEC. Now, naturally, the internet was on fire with the news and its ramifications for American crypto consumers. Meanwhile, Coinbase founder and CEO Brian Armstrong announced that his company would fight back, tweeting on February 12th, just 10 days ago, that Coinbase's staking services are not securities. We'll happily defend this in court if needed. Coinbase's staking services are not securities, he says. We will happily defend this in court. That is coming directly from Brian Armstrong. There is the tweet right there on February 12th. It's not about investor protection, the author says. It's about keeping the public's and media's eyes on the cryptocurrency as security story, while Gensler dupes us into forgetting that he met with Bankman-Fried in the months leading up to the FTX catastrophe, yet failed to prevent it. Now, you can think about this however which way you want, but the moral of the story here is keep your eyes open. Understand that these next few years are where the big opportunities lie to get into crypto, to make a great story for yourself, right? And put another way, there are no guarantees. There are no guarantees, and it pays to be early. Here's what we do know. Many people who watch this channel, we believe in the future of crypto and why the future of the blockchain is needed. What we don't have yet is regulatory clarity. We don't know exactly how it's going to all shake out. All we can do is pay attention, abide by the current rules and regulations out there that are laid out in front of us, and try to better our family's life, better our lives in the process. And hopefully the United States doesn't stunt innovation here, because blockchain, in my opinion, is the next big thing, similar to what the internet was in the early 2000s. I truly believe that. And I think many other companies do as well. That's why we're seeing so many enterprise companies just enter cryptocurrency for the first time, and many more will do so, perhaps under